The coldest hearts often beat the strongest because they've learned to freeze what doesn't matter. Sigma males are proof that silence and detachment are weapons sharper than words. In a world obsessed with oversharing and endless connection, these enigmatic men do something that leaves people baffled. They cold switch. One minute they're engaged, dropping profound insights or subtle charisma, and the next, they're gone. No warning, no explanation. Here's the kicker. Studies show that people who set strong emotional boundaries are not only more self-aware, but often happier. Sigma males take this principle to a whole new level, unapologetically prioritizing their mental and emotional energy. But don't mistake their aloofness for arrogance. It's more like quality control for their inner circle. So why do they do it? Is it a power move, a defense mechanism, or just their way of saying, "You've lost me at hello"? Let's unravel the mystery behind why Sigma males cold switch with such precision. And don't worry, it's not personal. Well, maybe just a little. Number one, emotional economy is a lifestyle, not a trend. Sigma males live by a rule most people don't even realize exists. Conserve your emotional energy like it's a limited resource. For them, life is not about scattering their attention to everyone who demands it. Instead, they operate like a finely tuned machine, reserving their mental and emotional bandwidth for things that genuinely matter. Cold switching isn't just a habit, it's a survival strategy. They've learned that investing in the wrong people or situations comes at a cost, one they refuse to pay. When they engage with someone, it's deliberate. They'll listen, contribute, even offer insights that stick with you long after the conversation ends. But if they sense the vibe shifting toward triviality or insincerity, they shut it down, not rudely, but effectively. It's like watching someone turn off a light switch, not dramatic, but final. They don't leave room for guilt or second guessing. After all, why should they? They've mastered the art of giving only what they're willing to lose. And if it's clear their effort won't be reciprocated, they walk away without a backward glance. This isn't about being cold-hearted or antisocial, it's about efficiency. Sigma males know that the world is full of emotional takers, people who expect attention, validation, or support without offering anything in return. These men see through that dynamic instantly. They've realized that energy wasted on meaningless interactions is energy they can't spend on their goals, passions, or the rare few who truly matter. Cold switching is their way of maintaining balance in a world that constantly tries to pull people in all directions. It's not a sign of disinterest, it's proof of how much they value their own peace. To a Sigma male, emotional economy isn't just a choice, it's a way of life. Number two, they're done explaining themselves. Sigma males have no interest in playing the endless game of justifying themselves to others. To them, explaining their choices, feelings, or silence to someone who's already made up their mind is like running in quicksand, completely pointless. They've learned through experience that most people don't listen to understand. They listen to reply, and for a Sigma male, that's the fastest way to lose his attention. Cold switching is their ultimate response to this kind of futility. The moment they sense a conversation spiraling into a demand for explanations, they disengage. Not because they can't defend themselves, but because they know they don't have to. Their decisions are rooted in self-awareness and calculated thinking, not in the need for external approval. They're not interested in winning an argument or persuading anyone to see things their way. Their mindset is simple. If you don't get it, that's not my problem. This approach can come across as dismissive, but it's really about protecting their inner world. Sigma males treasure their mental clarity and refuse to let it get clouded by endless debates or the need to validate their existence. They understand that over-explaining doesn't change minds, it only drains energy. Instead of exhausting themselves in a battle of words, they cold switch, silently walking away from any interaction that demands more than it gives. Their quiet refusal to explain themselves isn't arrogance, it's wisdom. They've seen how over-justifying can backfire, opening the door to judgment or manipulation. So they keep their moves subtle and their motives private. To a Sigma male, the need for explanation is a trap, and code switching is how they stay free. It's not about shutting people out, it's about keeping their peace intact. Number 3, too much transparency breeds vulnerability. Too much transparency is like handing someone the keys to your inner world, and Sigma males know better than to let just anyone in. Their persona thrives on mystery and autonomy, two traits that don't mix well with oversharing. For them, cold switching isn't just a reaction, it's a preemptive measure. It's how they maintain control over what others see and what they don't. By keeping people at a calculated distance, they reduce the chances of being misunderstood, manipulated, or exploited. Sigma males have likely experienced firsthand how vulnerability can backfire, how sharing too much, even with the best intentions, can give others ammunition to use against them. They've learned that silence is not just a shield, it's a weapon. When they cold switch, they're not being rude or indifferent. They're setting boundaries without needing to explain them. This unpredictability isn't accidental, it's strategic. When people can't pin you down, they can't control you. Sigma males understand that being too accessible makes it easy for others to take advantage of their time, energy, or emotions. Cold switching creates an air of mystery that keeps others guessing, ensuring that no one ever gets close enough to see the full picture. It's not about being secretive for the sake of it, it's about self-preservation. They believe that some things are best left unsaid, and not every connection deserves full access to their thoughts or emotions. By staying unpredictable and selectively silent, Sigma males protect their independence and maintain the upper hand. It's a simple truth they live by. When people don't know your next move, they can't manipulate your current one. Number 4, detecting emotional manipulation like a radar. Sigma males are masters at reading between the lines, and emotional manipulation doesn't stand a chance with them. Their radar for detecting insincerity is sharp, almost surgical. Whether it's a subtle change in tone, exaggerated flattery, or forced positivity, they pick up on the cues most people overlook. To them, fake enthusiasm or hidden motives aren't just red flags, they're deal breakers. Once they sense manipulation creeping in, they don't waste time trying to untangle the web of deceit. Their approach is swift and decisive. Cold switch. It's not an act of anger or impulsiveness, it's a calculated move to protect their mental and emotional space. They understand that where manipulation exists, authenticity cannot thrive, and they refuse to operate in such environments. This ability isn't something they're born with, it's a skill refined through experience. Sigma males have likely encountered enough games, lies, and hidden agendas to recognize them instantly. Instead of engaging in the exhausting process of exposing or confronting the manipulator, they choose the path of least resistance. Complete disengagement. Why fight a battle when you can walk away unscathed? It's not about running from conflict, but refusing to be dragged into someone else's chaos. Sigma males value clarity and authenticity, and they have zero tolerance for anything that compromises that. Cold switching in these moments is their way of saying, I see through you and I'm not interested. It's a silent but powerful statement that leaves manipulators powerless, confused, and scrambling to figure out what just happened. For the Sigma male, it's not about winning, it's about refusing to play a rigged game. Number 5, they're not here to entertain you. Sigma males operate on their own terms, and entertaining others simply isn't part of their job description. They see no reason to shoulder the responsibility of keeping a group's mood afloat, especially when it starts feeling like emotional labor. To them, social dynamics are a two-way street. If the effort isn't mutual, if the energy they're investing is met with indifference or outright entitlement, they'll pull the plug without a second thought. This isn't about being cold or antisocial, it's about prioritizing self-respect. Sigma males recognize the invisible traps of being the fixer or provider of vibes in a group setting. They know how quickly it turns into an unspoken expectation, with everyone leaning on them to keep things lively while offering nothing in return. For a Sigma, that's a deal they're never willing to make. When they cold switch in these moments, it's not dramatic, it's intentional. They'd rather retreat into their own world where their energy isn't drained by performative interactions. It's not their job to entertain, placate, or carry a group's dynamic on their shoulders. They know their worth, and that worth isn't tied to how well they can keep others entertained. This refusal to cater to the emotional laziness of others often catches people off guard. In a world where many thrive on external validation, Sigma males stand out by simply refusing to play along. Their cold switch isn't an act of rebellion, it's a quiet assertion of boundaries. It says, if you're not bringing the same energy, don't expect me to stick around. And once they're gone, their absence speaks louder than anything they could have said. Number 6, power dynamics bore them. Sigma males find power dynamics utterly tedious. The petty tug of war to prove who's on top in a conversation or social setting is a game they see right through and one they refuse to join. For them, true power isn't about posturing, dominance, or one-upping someone else. It's about autonomy, self-respect, and having the clarity to know when something isn't worth their time. When they sense the undercurrents of a power play, whether it's subtle digs, manipulative flattery, or someone flexing their influence, they don't react the way others might. There's no attempt to outsmart, outtalk, or outshine the other person. Instead, they disengage entirely. To a Sigma male, the real power lies in walking away with their peace intact, leaving the other party to play their game alone. This isn't arrogance, it's efficiency. Sigma males recognize that engaging in power struggles only wastes energy and shifts focus away from what truly matters. They aren't interested in proving their worth through battles of ego or climbing artificial social ladders. Their self-assurance doesn't need external validation, and they don't care to impress anyone by winning a conversation or outmaneuvering someone's tactics. Their detachment from power dynamics often confuses or even frustrates others, especially those who thrive on these games. But that's precisely the point. Sigma males aren't looking to compete, they're looking to stay grounded. By cold switching out of any situation where egos collide, they not only preserve their energy, but also maintain their sense of individuality. To them, it's simple. You don't have to win the game if you refuse to play it. Number 7, constant need for mental realignment. For Sigma males, mental clarity is non-negotiable. They approach life with a purpose, and anything that disrupts their mindset feels like unnecessary static. Whether it's a pointless conversation, a chaotic environment, or an interaction that drains their focus, Sigma males instinctively cold switch, not to avoid, but to realign. Their mind operates like a finely tuned instrument, and they refuse to let distractions throw it out of sync. When faced with situations that don't match their mental wavelength, Sigma males know staying engaged is a recipe for frustration or wasted energy. They don't do small talk for the sake of filling silence, and they don't force themselves into environments where their goals feel distant. Their ability to disengage is a deliberate recalibration, a way to clear the clutter and refocus on what actually matters. This isn't about being dismissive or aloof, it's about valuing their time and mental bandwidth. Sigma males thrive on introspection and self-discipline, and they guard their focus fiercely. To them, aligning their thoughts and actions is the foundation for achieving their ambitions. If something or someone feels like a mismatch, they'd rather step away and regroup than endure the mental friction. Cold switching in these moments is like hitting a reset button. It allows them to step back, reassess, and re-enter their flow state without external interference. While others might see this as avoidance, Sigma males see it as efficiency. They understand that staying sharp and goal-oriented means cutting out the noise, and they have no qualms about doing so. For them, mental alignment isn't a luxury, it's the secret weapon that keeps them ahead. Number 8, protecting their emotional minimalism. Sigma males treat their emotional world like a minimalist sanctuary, clean, uncluttered, and intentional. They've learned that emotional chaos not only drains energy but also clouds judgment, so they take a deliberate approach to protect their inner calm. This isn't about being unemotional or detached, it's about maintaining control over what they let in. For a Sigma male, emotional clarity is power, and they'll cold switch without hesitation to preserve it. They're not the type to get swept up in every emotional wave that comes their way. Whether it's someone oversharing, a dramatic argument, or a situation steeped in negativity, Sigma males instinctively pull back when they sense their balance being threatened. It's not that they don't care. They simply refuse to be overwhelmed by things that aren't theirs to fix. They know that being drawn into unnecessary emotional clutter only disrupts their mental focus and peace of mind. This approach often confuses people who expect emotional availability on demand. Sigma males don't buy into the idea that being constantly plugged in is a sign of strength. Instead, they view emotional restraint as a form of self-respect. It's their way of saying, I'll engage when it's meaningful, but I won't waste energy on chaos. When they cold switch in emotionally charged situations, it's a strategic retreat, not an act of indifference. They step away to regain perspective, ensuring they stay grounded and in control. This emotional minimalism isn't just a preference, it's a necessity for how they navigate life. By keeping their emotional space clear, they create room for what truly matters, leaving the noise and clutter for others to sort through. For a Sigma male, simplicity isn't just a style, it's a survival skill. Number 9, time is the ultimate currency. For a Sigma male, time isn't just a resource, it's the most valuable currency they possess. Every second counts, every minute is an investment toward their personal growth, goals, and pursuits. They don't have time to spare on trivial matters, shallow interactions, or relationships that don't offer mutual benefit or purpose. Cold switching is their way of managing this currency with ruthless efficiency. When a conversation starts veering into repetitive small talk or a situation becomes an endless loop of mediocrity, they make the conscious choice to step out and redirect their attention elsewhere. It's not that Sigma males are dismissive or unfriendly. They simply recognize that life is too short to engage in time sinks that don't bring value. They're laser focused on what truly matters, whether it's mastering a new skill, advancing their career, or exploring deep and meaningful connections. For them, time spent in mediocrity is time lost forever, and that's a loss they're not willing to endure. They cold switch not out of rudeness, but out of necessity. They know that being pulled into pointless discussions or mindless activities can derail their mental momentum. To them, choosing where to invest their time is a strategic move, almost like a chess game where every move is calculated. If a conversation or relationship doesn't align with their core goals, they see it as a wasted opportunity, one that could have been used to build, learn, or simply enjoy life in a meaningful way. This doesn't mean Sigma males don't value social interactions. They just know how to prioritize and protect their most finite resource. In a world where distractions are endless and mediocrity often demands attention, they've mastered the art of choosing what's worth their time. Cold switching is simply their way of keeping their focus intact and their time spent wisely. Number 10, empathy on a tightrope. Sigma males possess a profound sense of empathy, but it's never boundless. They can read people with uncanny accuracy and feel emotions deeply, but they also understand that their capacity for compassion is not infinite. They've learned the hard way that overextending themselves to those who wouldn't do the same is a recipe for emotional depletion. Cold switching becomes their safeguard, a way to enforce boundaries and protect their emotional energy. Empathy is a double-edged sword for Sigma males. It allows them to connect with others on a meaningful level, but also leaves them vulnerable to being taken for granted. They're acutely aware that in a world full of takers, giving too much without receiving anything back is unsustainable. Cold switching is how they pivot when they sense that their kindness is being exploited, or when they find themselves in situations where they're emotionally overinvested for little or no return. It's not that they don't care, but they understand the necessity of self-preservation. They reserve their empathy for situations that align with their values or people who show genuine reciprocity. If they see that their emotional involvement is being met with indifference, manipulation, or selfishness, they'll disengage. Cold switching allows them to maintain balance and keep their emotional well-being intact, all while ensuring that their empathy is used wisely. This isn't about being cold or indifferent, it's a form of self-respect. Sigma males understand that without clear boundaries, their emotional landscape can become a battlefield of frustration and resentment. By choosing where and how to invest their empathy, they ensure that it remains a tool for connection rather than a source of vulnerability. It's their way of walking the tightrope of empathy without falling into the abyss of emotional exhaustion. Cold switching isn't just a tactic for Sigma males, it's a way of life, a necessity in a world where authenticity is rare and emotional energy is precious. Every flip of the switch is a testament to their commitment to autonomy, self-preservation, and strategic engagement. While others might get swept up in the currents of social expectations, power games, and emotional entanglements, Sigma males are the ones standing on the shore, choosing when to wade in and when to stay dry. They know the value of selective interaction and have mastered the art of knowing when to stay and when to go, when to engage and when to step back into the shadows. Cold switching is the silent nod to their strength, a way to maintain control over their world, their time, and their emotional landscape. It's not about shunning others or building walls. It's about creating the space they need to thrive. It's how they keep their minds sharp, their goals clear, and their relationships meaningful. The ability to move through the world without losing their sense of self, without surrendering to external demands or emotional black holes, is the hallmark of their quiet power. In a society that often demands conformity and perpetual engagement, Sigma males don't just survive, they thrive by knowing what matters and refusing to waste energy on what doesn't. They aren't just adapting, they're choosing. And in a world full of noise, their code switching is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful response is simply to turn down the volume and focus on what truly counts. If you made it this far, you must be a Sigma-level thinker yourself, smart, discerning, and a bit of an enigma. So why not join the tribe? Hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Share this video with your fellow masterminds and give it a thumbs up if you think code switching is the ultimate life hack. And hey, if you've got thoughts or questions, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you, even if you're just here to drop a, well, that's deep, or a, I'm going to try this at work. Either way, you know the drill. Engage or risk being outplayed. Bye for now and see you in the next video.